brought a couple of those notes. Fortunately, Lori was here taking notes for video. We can send the video to Lori. I said expect to have a good year. I said property values will probably increase and inventory will probably decrease. I suggested that it'd be a good time to be on the top of your game. Practice your scripts. It was good last year, I guess it's good this year also. Work every lead until they buy or die. Very good. That was good advice then. Let's just pretend that I gave you that advice again for next year because I think it's going to stay about the same. On January 6th, and I hope this doesn't happen to anybody else, I woke up out of a dead sleep in the middle of the night with the thought of what I was going to talk about today. I tried to go back to sleep, couldn't go back to sleep. So I thought, all right, I'm going to get up and write it down. So I got up and wrote it down. So if this isn't a good idea, keep in mind that I got this coming out of a dead sleep. And we're going to go with it anyway. The idea that came to me was, it's not just about the check. Let me explain. The most successful people I know do what they do for something other than just the check. Don't get me wrong, the check's good. We all like to get the check. But it's just not the only thing that successful people work for. So it's not the check, what is it? It's a really good question, and I'm glad I asked because I have some of the answers here. It's a lot of different things, like the pride of accomplishment, creating something that's bigger than yourself. It's not about the check. The feeling you get from doing the best that you can do. The feeling you get from being the best that you can be. It's not about the check. The satisfaction you get when you help somebody buy their first home or sell their home. It's not about the check. The feeling you get when you're up against 2 or 3 agents and they pick you. It's not about the check. The pride that comes when you better your best. We talked a lot last year about bettering your best. Terry and Kenny's daughter Sydney wrote Kenny a letter, I think it was around Christmas time. It said, thank you for being a good father, for protecting her, and for providing a safe place to live. It's not about the check. The good news is that if you help enough people get what they want, that a check does follow. So if you do all of the right things, the checks will come. The most successful people I know aren't always the smartest. They're not always the best looking. They're not always dressed the best. They're not always the tallest, the most talented, or even the most popular. There's some successful people I know that can't type, spell, or work the office fax or scanner. Successful people, I have found this, that there's 5 things that I can put my finger on that successful people have. And I want you to see how many of these 5 that you think you have. I'm guessing that almost everybody in here has all 5 of them. One of them is goals. And let me just say, last year I think you guys did a really, really good job writing goals. This year they were 10 times better. I could tell that you really put some thought into them. Some of them needed a little bit of work, but for the most part, you planned it out. Not only did you talk about business stuff, but you even shared some of your family goals. That was pretty exciting for me to see. So 1, goals. Put that down if you have it. Second is positive attitude. Have you ever seen a successful person that didn't have a positive attitude? Have you ever been around somebody that doesn't have one? And how they can kind of just suck the life out of you? Those who've been divorced before, I'm just saying, could know somebody. The third thing on the list is they have passion for what they do. Pam told a story a while ago about 10 years ago, it was actually 11, well, it'll be 11 coming up, that what she didn't tell you about that story, that was the month that my father passed away. The other assistant we had surgery that week, and Pam was by herself. I was gone for 2 weeks because my father died, and she closed 43 houses. Another thing, I had 2 notes, and that was one of them, Pam. The other one was, there had been times in the past when the team was a little bit smaller. It was me, Van, Tara, maybe, Julie, and Pam, and there'd be times that I'd call in sometimes on Sunday just to leave a message so that I didn't forget to do something. And Pam would answer the phone. And I would say, what are you doing there? Well, if she had a busy month coming up or a lot of closings, she wanted to, one, make sure that she did her job. She wanted to make sure that I was covered, and she also wanted to make sure that the clients got the best service that they could get. I didn't ask her to be there, didn't tell her she had to be there. She just knew that she needed to be there. She has passion for what she does. The fourth one is a great work ethic. I think our Rookie of the Year probably demonstrates that. If you've been to the office lately, he's the first one there and he's the last one to leave. He's our Michael Jordan right now. That's something that you just can't teach. I think you can try, but you either have it or you don't. When I worked my first job, it was at a gas station. I worked every day after school. From the time I got out of school till usually about 7 or 8 at night, I worked at that gas station. And I worked every weekend for $25 a week. I was probably working 35 hours, and I was making $25 a week. And my dad said, if you're going to work there, he said a couple things that you have to do. One, when you're pumping gas, because we used to pump gas back then, 4 people. When you're pumping the gas, you don't ask them, you wash their windows. Ask them to open the hood so you can check their oil. He said, and then there's going to be some times that there may not be any cars out there to pump gas. That's when you clean the restrooms. Well, this is my dad. He didn't own the gas station, but he said, if you're going to work there, you don't just stand around, you work. And if you're going to do that, you're going to be the best there is at doing that. He said, I don't care if you choose to haul trash or dig ditches. Just be the best ditch digger there is. So, work ethic, either have it or you don't. And the last one is they have to love what you do. I talked about earlier, if you don't love what you do, you're destined to fail. My dad obviously was a big influence in my life. He was a big motivational speaker, kind of liked to listen to those guys. Back in the day, and some of you will probably have to Google this, but you used to be able to buy cassette tapes, and on the cassette tapes would be, you know, the top speakers around the country. One of his favorite was Zig Ziglar. And Dad liked motivational tapes so much that he bought one of those duplicating machines where you could put 2 tapes in, or maybe 3. One would be the one you paid for, the other 2 would be ones that he'd be giving me and somebody else. And he'd duplicate the heck out of those, and he'd give them to people that he worked with or that worked for him. He'd give them to me and my sisters. One of my favorite all-time was Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar talked about, in order to get something out, you have to put something in. So instead of me doing my Zig Ziglar, we have a video.